Shalom, Israel. It's your boy New Breed coming through with another live stream. Today we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about the music industry. This is pretty much a live video response to a lot of recent emails I received regarding the music industry. Shalom, what's good? As y'all come into this live stream, make sure y'all hit the thumbs up. We're gonna go into some details about the Luciferian contract. We're gonna talk about this because what profit a man to gain the whole world, but to lose their soul? What profit a man to gain everything and lose their soul, their essence, their dignity, compromise the fabric of their being, literally cut off the impulse and the connection between them and the Most High God? Is it anything worth that? Anything? It's good to see y'all catching another live. Welcome, welcome. All my brothers and sisters, all my moderators. I'm glad y'all catching this live on this Sunday afternoon. We're going to talk about the music industry. Now, I find this important because you got a lot of ambitious people out there. And living here, where I live now in Atlanta, Georgia, I see the ambition in the eyes of the youth. I see a lot of talented people. I'm surrounded by lots of talent. I mean, when you go in the hood, when you go anywhere in the projects, you're going to see talent. When you go into these poetry nights, when you go into karaoke nights, when you go anywhere in Atlanta, you're surrounded by talent. And there's so many hungry people out here. There's so many people who who want the limelight, who want it all, who want to gain the world. And this message is for you today. I want to talk about this because recently I just got a whole lot of emails. Meg The Stallion. We're going to talk about the contract situation with Meg The Stallion. And I want to first give a brief dissertation on why I'm able to speak about things like this. Once upon a time, I was an artist who was chasing the industry. A lot of people don't know that I make music for the Most High now, but once upon a time, I was making worldly music, carnal music. I've had meetings with record execs back in the early 2000s. I've sat there with Swisher House back in 2000. I think it was 2002. You know, I've almost signed with Swisher House back in the day. I was in San Antonio, Texas, when everything was popping. I mean, I was right there in the vein of a lot of things, and I could have signed a contract at one point in my life. And so, you know, I kind of know how the industry works to an extent. I understand what the contract part is, and I just wanted to share my views on what's going on with Meg The Stallion. Let's see. If you in this live, y'all make sure y'all hit the thumbs up. We got 131 in here, 42 likes. Y'all get them thumbs up. We got Raina Taylor in here, Marco Garcia. Man, it's good to see y'all. It's all love, family, peace, family. Now let's talk about it. Meg The Stallion. There's a lot of controversy surrounding her record contract with 1501. Um, a lot of her fans are in support. They're standing behind her with the situation of what's taking place. A lot of people have demonized Jay Prince in this situation. And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that. Now, Jay Prince, he is no saint. He is a record executive, just like every other record executive. But I want y'all to understand when it comes to the industry, there are levels to all of this. There's levels to the Luciferianism. There's levels to the occult practices. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Jay-Z and Rock Nation is on a higher Luciferian satanic level than Rap A Lot Records or any associated brand with Rap A Lot Records, being 1501. And what you have here, if you really examine the contract that Meg The Stallion had, because I've heard a lot of people speak about her contract. She got cheated. She only made $10,000. I heard a lot of people saying that. I mean, they're inaccurate. They didn't really examine what the contract said. I looked at some of the semantics in her contract. I did my research on what her deal was, and she got $10,000 advanced. Now, her deal included 50%. Check this out, y'all. Her deal included 50% ownership. She got 50% ownership over her music. She got 50% royalties, y'all. That is not really that easy to come by. That really set her up for the long run. And also, she gains 70% of her show money. 70% of her show money, 50% of her royalties. But she only had a $10,000 advance. Now, she had to fulfill her record contract by coming out with a certain amount of albums. All right? Now, I'm going to tell you this now. From a standpoint of what a good contract looks like, that contract is not bad. I mean, on the surface, when you look at it, it takes a lot of resources to put out an artist and take a chance with an artist who is not known. You have to actually make that artist popular. You have to put in the footwork. You have to work to build that artist up. Now, I want to explain what's really taking place in this situation. What's really taking place is you have a person who believes they're more valuable than they are. And you have a person who is being surrounded by the likes of Jay-Z, Rihanna, Beyonce, and they want the fame. So what you have is a person who is more hungry for the fame. They want to go to the next level in the occult. They want to be a bigger name. And that person, I do believe that Meg The Stallion was not confident in her project. That's another reason. Because part of her contract, she was going to have to put out certain numbers. And I don't think she was confident in the project. And, she wanted to get out the contract. Now, what I want y'all to really pay attention to is how she was able to get out that contract. Now, there was no getting out of it. Jay Prince knew that when he wrote his monologue on social media. He was like, look, she fighting a battle she can't face. She can't get out of the contract. It is what it is. And he also quoted that Meg The Stallion looked like a prime candidate for self-destruction. And, he said that for a reason. And we're going to get into that reason. Now, he did not believe that she can get out of that contract. She did an interview with Hot 97. They asked about the contract. She said, "Oh, I got out of it. I was released. I can release my music. A judge granted it." Ladies and gentlemen, that just doesn't happen. Let me explain this to you. That just doesn't happen. You don't just get out of a contract that you signed. It doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. So when it comes to this Luciferian music industry, there's levels to it. That contract is not in void because she had bumped shoulders with the right people. You understand? She's getting into that organization. She is being initiated by the powers that be. Meg The Stallion is being initiated to Rock Nation. High-level witchcraft, high-level sorcery. I will not be surprised if y'all see Meg The Stallion dressing, bathing in blood in her next videos. It's going to go a step further than just her twerking like a stripper in every video. Now they're going to the next level. Now she ain't going to just be half naked looking like a stripper. Now you're going to start seeing her do things like bathing in blood. You're going to see her doing videos, doing stuff like levitating. All of the witchcraft, the sorcery type stuff, because she is being initiated. Because you don't just get out of a contract like that. You don't just get out of a contract like that. Y'all got to understand how this industry works. It's It's high level Luciferianism, Satanism, the whole nine. These people have to do things, ungodly, unspeakable things, y'all, to get what they get. And Meg The Stallion was a prime candidate. That's why Jay Prince said Meg The Stallion is a prime candidate for self destruction. Absolutely. Yes, they do it in our faces. Nobody just gets out of a record contract like that. Miss Bree Bree, you're right. You're right on point. It just does not happen that way. Only way that happens is listen, the higher up said, look, we're going to be using this person to do so and it is what it is. That contract got shredded up. And I know a lot of people are talking about a feud between Jay-Z and Jay Prince, and this is going to cause a feud. Listen, get your mind out of that lower level. Get your mind out of that. There will be no feud. There will be no beef. There's no bloodshed gonna come from it. It ain't gonna, this is not the '90s. This ain't Death Row and Bad Boy. No, this is organized. You understand? They broke her in with Rap A Lot Records. They got her started. She took the next level. That's all. It's all occultism. It won't be, this is what the low level people see. This is what the general public see. All we see is, oh, we seeing shady business, and it's a lot deeper than that. A lot deeper than that. Meg The Stallion was not satisfied with just being a stripper, shaking her ass on every song, um, you know, making her project and her character development. She wasn't satisfied with that. She wanted to be a bigger star. She wanted to be much bigger than what she is now. And if you ask me, that was a mistake. Now, when she first got into the industry, her mother passed away. Her mother and her grandmother actually died the same month. Her mother struggled with brain cancer it says on Wikipedia, her mother struggled with brain cancer for a long time. Um, According to Jay Prince, during his monologue on social media, Meg The Stallion's mother was the one who read over her contract. The contract that she signed with Rap A Lot was read over by Jay Prince. I mean, read over by her mother, excuse me. And apparently her mother passed away. Um, I'm not going to get into any conspiracy theories regarding her mother's death or anything like that. That's unfortunate what happened. But I will say this. It seems that a lot of entertainers who get into the music industry, a very close relative passes away. Usually it's the person that you would perceive to be the closest person to them. And this is just a simple analysis. I'm not saying that that's the issue with Meg The Stallion. But you often see the person that seems to be the closest to them, they end up dying immediately after signing the contract. I mean, it never fails. It never fails. And and then I guess it was only I'm gonna tell you this now. Her EP, Meg The Stallion's EP just dropped, and it just wasn't that good. Um, it didn't do that good either. Um, that's part of the reason she also wanted out of the deal. When you look at the semantics behind her contract with Rap A Lot, she was supposed to make a certain amount of music, and it was supposed to do certain numbers. Because a lot goes into developing an artist. Y'all gotta understand that. It takes a very talented individual to develop themselves as an artist, make their own character, their own development, everything. But a lot of people are so talented these days. A lot of brothers and sisters are so talented, they develop themselves as artists. You know, a lot of these artists don't need people to tell them what to say, tell them what to do. They just have it in them. Yep, the symbolism will be there. Yep, the symbolism is going to be all through the Meg The Stallion videos. It's going to be totally different. Now that she's bumping shoulders with Beyonce, Rihanna, the likes of Kanye West. And I'll also say this. One or two things that happen. There are plenty of artists who sign with Rock Nation who do not get the light of day. There are plenty of artists that sign with Rock Nation and don't get the light of day. Matter of fact, Remy Ma, they pick Remy Ma up on Rock Nation. You don't see her dropping anything. And she just completely destroyed Nicki Minaj recently. That's why we got to understand, get our mind out of the labels. Get your mind out of the labels, right? It is a fraternal order. It's a fraternal order. Whoever's doing their rituals, whoever's doing their sacrifices, whoever's leading as many countless souls to hell as possible, that too's gonna be on top. It don't matter what record label you're signed to. This is all one huge conglomerate. It's one group. They when they go party, they party together. I'm gonna tell you that right now. When they go party and they go to these eyes wide shut mansions and they doing these things and drinking bodily fluids and having orgies and all of this kind of stuff, they doing it together. Every record label coming together. The head honchos of each label coming together, doing what they doing. Plain and simple. And that's what's happening with this industry. It's satanic. It's evil. And for those who are naysayers to say, look, Breed, what you're saying is conspiracy theories. There's no proof that the music industry is satanic. Give us the proof. Let me ask y'all this. If it's not about talent, what is it about? That's a good question to meditate on. Because we can clearly see that the people in the industry, the people who are your mainstream artists, are not the most talented artists. They are not the most talented artists. So how did they get what they got? Is it about devil worship? Is it about occultism? Is it about symbolism? Or is it about talent? What is it about? What is it about? Because I know people that work for UPS that can rap better than J. Cole, Jay-Z. There are female artists with more fire who can rap, who are not taking their clothes off, like strippers. Why does every artist have to have the same look and do the same thing? What is it all about? What is the deal? And there's a great level of Satanism going on in the industry. But it's also about the influence. Even, let me explain this. Even if you don't take the rituals, right? Even if you're not in those inner circles and you're not laying down with certain people and giving yourself away, let me explain this to you. The fact that you're promoting drug dealing, the fact that you're promoting stripping, the fact that you're promoting death, killing, murder, destruction, chaos, you are already doing Satan's work. You're doing Satan's work. It is what it is. Somebody said it's about money. The money is the root of all, the love of money is the root of all evil for a reason. People sell their souls to get into that industry. And I want y'all to evaluate what takes place. When you think about the scriptures in the Bible, when Lucifer, when he took Christ up to the highest mountain while Christ was fasting for 40 days and 40 nights, Lucifer took him upon the highest mount and he said, look, everything you see, all this can be yours. You just bow down and worship me. That's what he told the Messiah. Of course, Christ said, get behind me, Satan. How could you offer me something that my Father already has? How could you offer me something that's already mine? I've already inherited this world. How could you offer me something that's mine? Satan fled. Guess what they do to these young artists who have the talent, who have some similitude of light still left in them? They take them to a high rise building overlooking the whole city. You can see the lights, the glitz, the glamour. They take you to this beautiful office. They show you everything. And they say, look, you can have all this here. All you got to do is sign this contract. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And then what happens immediately after? Let me give you a storyline of how this usually goes with these artists. And this happens this way 10 times out of 10. This is how it happens. They get that deal. Bank account, they get what you call a black card. They get a black card, right? This black card gets, let's say, $5 million on it. Let's just throw a rough number out there. Let's say it has $5 million on it. You done made it. You balling. You can buy the nice clothes. You can buy the crib. You can buy your mama a crib. You can do it all. You've made it. You in the limelight. You out there. Your record can be complete trash, right? It's a record that you didn't even want to be a single. You didn't even choose that record. They didn't give you the option of choosing your own record. You wanted to be released as a single. They choose a record. You don't like it. It gets released. The record's number one. The record's number one. And you got to sit there and keep on performing the same song, same record that you never really chose to begin with. You never really liked that particular song. And then, you making it big. You living large. Next thing you know, you invited places. Next thing you know, you got to change your appearance. Next thing you know, subconsciously a lot of the times, you'll notice that if you're not throwing your symbols, if you're not giving the hand gestures, if you're not holding up certain symbols, you're not getting the spins. You're not getting the numbers. You're not getting the plays. So involuntarily, you're putting yourself in the game because it's all Satanism. Satan blesses their own. Somebody says, can you redeem yourself after being in the industry? That's an interesting question because when you look at the whole idea of selling one's soul, a lot of the times, the only way out is death. A lot of the times. I'm not saying all the time. But it's going to take a great deal of confession. It's going to take a great deal of exposure. It's going to take a great deal of repentance. And, and let me make this clear. The scriptures say charity covers the multitude of sins. Doing for others can cover a lot of sin in this world. Helping others. Being quick to give before you're quick to receive. So people who have decided to just donate their proceedings to the homeless, back away from the industry, go provide for their family. I'm not one to say that they can't find salvation, but I'm going to say this. Getting involved in that energy is a whole lot of unnecessary heartbreak. It's a whole lot of unnecessary pain, drama that you're about to put yourself through. It's going to come, if you want to be a part of that industry, it's going to come a time when you can't look yourself in the mirror. You don't know who you are. You just compromised altogether. You don't have the same thought process. Once upon a time, you had dreams. You used to have impulses. You used to have innocent thoughts, feelings. Imagine all your dreams, your feelings, your emotions, your love. Imagine all of that turning into a black hole. Imagine that turning into a black hole and you can't feel anything for anybody. Imagine having a whole world loving you, but you feel lonely. Imagine being in constant regret, but something is pushing you and controlling every move you make. You could be tired and don't want to do something, but something, something is making you do it. This is how these people feel. This is what goes on with selling one's soul, with signing that contract. And a lot of people look up to Megan The Stallion. A lot of people look up and idolize a lot of these artists. And my focal point in this video is the female artists. I'm focusing on the female artists right now because right now we're living in a feminist society. They're going to raise the mother goddess. They're going to give reverence and veneration to the female archetype at this moment. That's what's happening right now. Hip hop is becoming a female's genre, and it is what it is. And that's what they're promoting. Because even if it's men there, they have to be feminine. Even if it's men in the industry, most of, most of your artists, mainstream artists, are going to be feminine. They're going to dress like women. So I'm gonna talk about female artists and what's taking place with the women. According to the Willie Lynch letters, I'm gonna take y'all back a little bit. According to the Willie Lynch letters, females would be the consumer, particularly the black woman would be the consumer. According to the Willie Lynch letters, they were careful not to beat the women to death. They were careful not to kill the woman with the bullwhip. Like, they didn't care about killing the man. Somebody asked me, I believe it was Maya Moons on one of my streams, why aren't the women artists being killed in vast numbers like the men artists? Why are the men artists being sacrificed? And they usually die by threes. If you pay attention, anytime a sacrifice happens, they die by threes. But why is it that the women artists, which they do sacrifice women artists as well, but why is it not happening at a vast rate like the men artists? It's because the females are the consumers. You have to, just like in slavery, when they were careful not to kill the female, they knew that that would translate to more money. It's more money involved because you got these young girls who look up to your Cardi B's, your Nicki Minaj's, your Meg The Stallions, and they're going to be the ones who support. They're going to be the ones to support. All right? So they're not going to kill off their icons. It doesn't work exactly like that. Now, of course, now when they're done with them and they're not valuable and they're worth more dead than alive, then this industry is going to chew you up and spit you out like they did Whitney Houston. Now, we all know that that was a ritual, Clive Davis. We know this. And then her daughter dies in the same way, dies in a pool. Come on now. Dies in a bathtub. We know. We know that this stuff is already written, is sacrifices. It is what it is. The powers that be, they don't hide it anymore. And when you look at it, when it comes to the female artists, they're going to promote them stripping. You had Hot Girl Summer last summer with women talking about setting dudes up, killing dudes and setting them up and stealing their money and stripping. Now, let me explain why they're promoting stripping and Hot Girl Summer and setting people up so much. Let me explain it. There's a very dark side to stripping. Now, usually they make it look glamorous, right? They make it look like that's something that, it's dancing, it's popularized. It's often looked at like a good thing in this current culture. But there's a very dark side to stripping. They don't talk about the countless young women who are raped. They don't talk about the countless young women who are kidnapped. They don't talk about the women who end up thrown over bridges, found in dumpsters. They don't talk about that side to it. Stripping is very dangerous. Selling your body, prostitution, very dangerous. Setting men up, very dangerous. See, this culture seems to be creating an atmosphere where women in general have no protection, where women are vulnerable. See, the same thing you think that empowers you as a woman is actually what's making you vulnerable. You're looking at a war that's taking place. So they making you feel empowered, but you're really vulnerable. You're a liability. You're making yourself exposed. Somebody said organ harvesting. Absolutely, that is a part of it. You got a lot of missing women and children out here. In this day and age, with all of the missing people, do y'all really believe that it's in your best benefit to be trying to live a hot girl summer? Out here showing your body. There are predators all around. There are predators all around. And you know, I gotta have these messages because to you know, we gotta keep our women protected. And when I say our women, I mean our women as a whole. Not just our families. Even messages can protect the next generation, fellas. So listen, I know there's a lot of brothers out there that don't give a damn about our women. I understand that. I get it. You know, they feel like when women in turn they back on us and blah 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 and the woman this and the woman that. I understand that. I get it. You know, as men, you've been hurt as well. I get it. But at the end of the day, fellas, you know, as a man, you gotta be the bigger person. You know, you gotta be the bigger person. You gotta have love for your women because nobody else will love them. When our women came off the slave ships, and I'm just not to go real far back, but they put them up on auction blocks. They sold them. They had their bodies half naked. You know, they showed all the goods, and they were selling them just like that. But we promote them being on stages with clubs that's owned by the same people. We promote them being on stages, clubs owned by the same people, record labels owned by the same people. We promote that. That's a problem. Because that's what they're doing. They're making the future generation of our women fall into whoredom. Whoredom is death, y'all. Whoredom is death. Whoredom leaves you vulnerable. And, you know, I just got to put that out there. And that's what Meg The Stallion, Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, all the other female artists, that's what their goal is for. Now, why do you think that Remy Martin, she got signed to Rockefeller and she's not coming out with any projects? Thank you for the donation, family. Says, my co-worker just got signed to Murder Inc. Adventures Music. Does that mean he sold his soul and is he in danger? I didn't even know Murder Inc. was still running. I thought they had to change everything about Murder Inc. because they were rated. Anytime you sign a contract, am I saying you're facing immediate doom? No. Listen, when it comes down to it, you could be put on a shelf for various reasons. That brings me to my point with Remy Martin. Why do you think that Rockefeller Records signed Remy Ma and you're not seeing her no more? Why? I'm gonna explain something. What she did to Nicki Minaj, what she did to Nicki Minaj in that battle, that it was called Sheether. That song was not green lighted. That song was not green lighted from the powers that be. Remy Martin was not supposed to drop that record and have the impact that she had against Nicki Minaj. That was not supposed to happen. Because Nicki Minaj, she does her rituals. She does what she's supposed to do in the industry. So when they got Remy Ma signed to Rock, that was pretty much a gag order. She got a check to sit on a shelf. That happens. That happens, y'all. And you're not going to be seeing much projects from her. For number one, you don't see Remy Ma. Now she's done it in the past, but you don't really see Remy Ma shaking her ass in every song. Her messages are not the same as every other female artist. And she's just a dope. She's really an MC. She's really an MC. And that's not what's popular. That's not what they want right now. They want as many young women to be as vulnerable as possible, putting themselves out there and putting their bodies out there and being victimized out here. That's what they want. That's what's being promoted. They want as many defenseless young women as possible in this day and age. It is 2020 and things are happening how they happening. That's the reality of the situation. If you in this live stream, hit that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up because we going in, man. We giving the real deal with that contract situation. Hands down, people don't just get out of contracts like that unless they took another oath, they leveled up in the Luciferian realm, and they went ahead and been initiated into the Babylonian mystery school system. That's what just happened with Meg The Stallion. Look at her interview on Hot 97 when she was sitting there talking about, I got out of the contract. The judge green lighted it. If you look at the host from Hot 97, I forget, Ebro. If you look at Ebro's face, he's a bit confused to how she got out of that contract. He looks like, okay, you were green lighted. She was green lighted. She was initiated. Rock Nation. You're going to see her throwing up the triangles. You're going to see videos of Meg The Stallion bathing in blood. You're going to see some strange symbolism in her songs. You're going to see Meg The Stallion doing what it is that the Luciferians want. She's been initiated. The fact of the matter is she did not trust her work. She did not trust the process. Her record deal with 1501 was a rather decent deal, was not a bad deal, but I don't think she had faith in herself to bring out good enough projects. And also, she rubbed shoulders, I should say, with Jay-Z, Rihanna, Beyonce, and she was like, hey, I want this. This is the life I want for myself. I want to go to the next level. I want to be like Rihanna. I want to be like Beyonce. Oh, she wants to be like them, and that's going to come with a price. Oh, man. This is why Jay Prince said in his social media monologue, Jay Prince said, she's a prime candidate for self-destruction. Tyrone, thank you for the donation, family. I appreciate it. If you look at Jay Prince's monologue he wrote about Meg The Stallion, he said she's a prime example candidate for self-destruction. And he was not lying. He was not lying. She didn't just jumped in a whole nother realm. She didn't just jumped in a whole nother realm. Now, am I saying that Jay Prince is innocent? Am I saying that Rap-A-Lot Records is innocent? No. They definitely have blood on their hands just like every other record label. Let's get that understood. But there are levels. There are levels to this occultism. When you're talking about Jay-Z, you're talking about the man who is involved in spirit cooking. Jay-Z, spirit cooking, y'all. For those who are not familiar with spirit cooking is basically when you tranquilize an individual and you eat them while they're alive. You literally eat them alive. That's spirit cooking. They have to watch you eating them. That's what spirit cooking is. He is known to be associated with high-level witches that practice spirit cooking. Allegedly. Gotta say allegedly. When you're talking about Beyonce, you're talking about high-level sorcery. I mean, I know y'all have seen her performing at the Super Bowl. I know y'all seen her on stages. Her face mutate. Don't nobody's face mutate like that, man. Unless something is going on in you. Come on now, let's believe what we seeing. Let's believe what we seeing. You talking about Rihanna. You talking about every video she's crawling around in blood and We talking about levitating, high level Luciferian. You spin her records backwards. You hearing all kind of stuff. Meg The Stallion next. This is one or two things gonna happen with Meg The Stallion. There's one or two things that's gonna happen with Meg The Stallion. Number one, she's gonna get put on the shelf. You're not gonna hear from her no more. Which that will be good for her, but it also will be bad because she's gonna take a deal and she's still gonna have to fulfill her Luciferian contract. See, y'all think because an artist signs and they get put on the shelf that they got saved from the industry. Doesn't work like that. If you sign a Luciferian contract with a major record label, you're still gonna have to do your rituals, or they're gonna come for your life. They're gonna come for you. There's so many people who are not mainstream, who are victims of gang stalking from the industry. There's so many people who are not mainstream and signed, who are not mainstream, but they are signed, who are dealing with various organizations watching them, neighborhood harassment, the whole nine. People killing their animals, the whole nine, because they're not fulfilling their contracts. So consider yourself blessed that you got your souls. All you people out here who are just trying to live your life. Everything you need will be added unto you. The Most High blesses His people. Think about this, y'all. How many times you couldn't pay your light bill? How many times your cable was gonna get cut off, or you didn't have grocery money or gas money, and the Most High got you that? Just think about it. I mean, literally, the Most High carries us. I mean, we don't even, like, I can't even tell y'all how many times that I'm in a situation where I didn't help somebody else or did something for somebody else, and I didn't put myself out there, and y'all come through with a super chat or a cash app. And hell, that was my gas money. I'm keeping it a bean with y'all right now. I can't even tell you how much the Most High just carries His people. It is what it is. You know, I don't need to sign no contract. I will stay doing right what I'm doing. I will stay doing right what I'm doing, and edifying my people and speaking the truth before I sit here and compromise my soul for that industry. Never, 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 never. And that's what's going to happen. Either you're going to see Megan The Stallion doing all the rituals, becoming an empty soul, or you're going to see her disappear. That's it. That's what's going to happen. She was, honestly, she already had made her deal when she signed with Rap A Lot. What she should have done is just kept making music, honestly. She was already in the contract, and when you make an obligation, you should fulfill that obligation. I remember when Future was in a lawsuit, rapper Future, he was obligated to a record contract. He made like 10 trash albums in one summer. The man threw out like 10 trash albums in one summer because he wanted to get out his contract. That's what you do. That's what she should have did. Threw out about 3 trash albums, doing the same cadence and the same ad libs like she always do, and just tried to get out the industry. Tried to get out. Thank you for the donation, family. Stay close. Yahuwah's vengeance is near. Absolutely. Absolutely. We got 513 in the building. Y'all hit that thumbs up some more. We're going to jump into some Q&A about this industry. We're going an hour long on this live. Somebody said, why does everybody got to be looked at as bad? People just trying to live and make the best of their lives. Nobody knows what's good or bad because there's so many contradictions in this life. Listen, I'm not saying that anybody who signs a record contract are bad people. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that they are misinformed and they are deceived. They are misinformed and deceived people. Because when you look at the nature of the music industry, you can have, let me tell you something. There's a lot of pure hearts. There's a lot of people with good intentions right on their way to hell. Listen, hell is full of people with good intentions. That's what you got to understand. So because somebody signs a record label, they may just only be thinking about their family. having things. You know, people who haven't came from nothing. A lot of people who signed contracts came from nothing. They made themselves something, but they're misinformed. You know, Hosea chapter 4, verse 6 says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge." So, having that lack of knowledge of what they're getting involved in, they're facing destruction. I'm talking about mental destruction, physical, spiritual destruction. A lot of the times, this is why they get caught up in addiction. They're taking antidepressants because they were misinformed and now they got to live their lives in regret because they signed a contract that basically took their civil liberties from them. They were stripped of their essence, their spirit, their soul has been compromised. Imagine signing a contract. I want y'all to put yourselves in these artists' shoes for a second. Imagine signing a contract and you know in the back of your mind that one day everything that you just earned, everything that's before you, your home, your cars, everything. You know that one day you're going to have to, everything you have, it came with a price. That one day it's all going to end and it's going to end tragically. You know this subconsciously. You may not know it mentally, it may not be in the forefront of your mind, but subconsciously, you know, I done messed up. Everything I earned one day is going to be stripped from me tragically. Tragically. Somebody brung up the baby. Yeah, the baby, he did his sacrifice. He did the embarrassment ritual. He walked down the street wearing a diaper. He sacrificed the man at Walmart, shot him in cold blood. That was his introduction to the industry. And absolutely, the real life is the afterlife. Imagine you compromising the afterlife, the real life, for just temporary stuff. Bruno Mars, he has a song called Locked Out of Heaven. Feels like he's been locked out of heaven. Allegedly, he made that song based on the death of his mother. He's sitting there saying, "You making me feel like I was locked out of heaven." His mother died shortly after his contract. These are facts. And I'm not saying that what I'm saying is the absolute 100% concrete facts. But what I am saying is if you look at the facts itself of what happened, you can draw conclusions through evidence. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Bruno Mars, his mother died. He made a song called Walked Out of Heaven, Locked Out of Heaven, excuse me, because this is what happens. Imagine you knowing that when this is over, I'm done. When this is over, I'm done. Why? Listen, you become a walking abomination. You sacrifice your spirit to become a walking abomination. Willing to have sex with anything, willing to do anything. Come on, man. That's what they become. Straight up. Thank you for the donation, family. Satan targets the vulnerable a lot. Black people are traumatized people. Pray for the youth. They are impressionable and lost. Absolutely. A lot of the times they come to the projects to get their artists. A lot of the times they come, to vulnerable people, poor people, people with talent. And that's not, and I don't want to skew the lines here. Every race of people, white, black, Chinese, Japanese, I don't care what race you are. If you get involved with that music industry, it's all the same. They don't really see color lines when it comes to occultism. It's all about the rituals, the magic, the sacrifice, and the Satanism. I want you to understand that. Here it is. You got a platform like YouTube that's worldwide. You got people like Gene Deal, who was Puffy's bodyguard, and is saying all kinds of allegations against P. Diddy. Allegations that should basically bury this man under the jail. But you don't see none of these allegations being brought forth. You don't see the news covering it. You don't see nothing. That's because it's a fraternity. The music industry is a fraternity. You're not going to see things be put out there like that. And then to an extent, the powers that be, they don't care that we're talking about this because listen, that it's not going to stop the show because you got so many mindless people. So many people who are just like robots, drones, who are going to follow these celebrities regardless. You understand? My hopes is that these type of videos reach the very few people who want to be involved in the industry, the very few people who got common sense and logic, and the very few people who want to protect their children from being indoctrinated by these artists. That's what my hopes are because I know the mass majority of people are still going to support these artists. They're going to defend these artists. Just because you need to separate the talent that a person has from who they are. Because a lot of people will defend these celebrities left and right because they got some type of emotional feeling or connection towards them. I only serve the Most High God. I can care less about these celebrities. Only thing I want to do is make sure my people learn from their mistakes, especially you people out there with talent. And that's just a fact of the matter. You got love and hip hop indoctrinating our women. Like our women, all they do is slap, fight, and cuss and throw bottles at each other. That's the only thing that you get promotion of. Women throwing bottles, slapping, and screaming at each other. Like you can't talk without throwing a damn cup or a glass of water on somebody, glass of wine on somebody. Somebody said they all transsexuals. I don't know. I will tell you this. Meg the Stallion, a stallion is a male horse. I'll just leave it at that. A grown male horse is what a stallion is. I'm not saying Meg the Stallion is a man, but I'm saying why would you name yourself a male horse? I mean, if you're gonna name yourself a rap name, shouldn't you have some meaning behind your name? Or at least, and this is why I say our people are misinformed. This is why I say misinformed people, not bad people, just misinformed people. Because a woman wouldn't name herself a male horse unless they just don't know that that's what a stallion is. And that's all you see with Meg the Stallion. And what is it going on with our female artists where they're talented, but they got to be naked? You got Lizzo. You got Lizzo, right? She's very talented, but they gotta perpetuate and promote obesity because that's what it is. Thanks for the donation. Future LGBT agenda is going to persecute Christians. Yeah, you got Lizzo showing her whole body. It's like she's supposed to be the poster child for diabetes, man. Like what are we seeing here? Now, and I'm not, and I know y'all gonna say new breed, you body shaming and all that. Listen, that's not why I'm saying that. The reason I'm saying that is the reason why I'm talking about them showing her body or her showing her body like that is because you got a lot of women in our community in particular who don't take the necessary cautions to keep themselves up. And what that does is that it makes them women feel content with staying that way. You understand? That's making women content with being obese. If you're obese, you shouldn't be content with it. You gain some weight, you lose it. That shouldn't be celebrated. Obesity should never be celebrated. Tom, thanks for the donation, Patricia. Tom McDonald sings about the Illuminati gonna kill him for his songs. Absolutely. And not to speak bad against women who are thick because I love thick women. Everybody who know me know that. But I'm saying that you cannot condone or celebrate obesity. That's all I'm saying. Somebody said the real Derek Jackson said Snoop actually made a also made a gospel album. Yeah, and that album was total blasphemy. Total blasphemy. It's a very blasphemous album. That just shows the condition of mainstream Christianity when they can allow Snoop Dogg to walk in a church, use their choir, and make an album. That shows you the condition between Christianity and the secular realm. Mainstream Christianity and the secular world is one of the same. Thanks for the donation, family. Time now, fully unplugged. I fear for anyone who is clinging on this system. Absolutely. Thanks for the donation. Oh, somebody said the coronavirus about the older folks. Oh yeah. For those who don't know, New York City has been placed in a state of emergency. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. This got depopulation written all over it, y'all. They're telling people that they can't go to the old folks' home or the nursing home and visit their family. And then on the same breath, they're saying there are lots of people dying in the nursing homes. What's going on is it's dangerous times we living in, and to me, it has depopulation written all over it. How you gonna tell people they can't go see their loved ones? That makes no sense to me at all. And they've already briefed and prepped individuals who work in these nursing facilities on how to treat the people. It's astonishing the times we living in. So again, like I said in my first coronavirus video, we just gotta protect our immune system at all costs, y'all. We gotta protect our immune system. That's what it's about right now. Absolutely. Somebody said New Breed sounds like he's lusting a bit. Cause I said I like thick women. See, this is the problem. This is the problem. Men are often emasculated for being men. On top of that, there's nothing wrong, bruh, with liking women or having a certain demographic of women that you like. Damn, bruh. See that's how far gone we are. But that's why I talk about what feminism culture have done. This man said it sounds like I'm lusting because I said I like thick women. That's crazy, bruh. It's lusting to like women. If you a man. That's crazy, bro. That's the times we living in, man. But it is what it is. I'm glad y'all caught this live stream. Hopefully you took the message from it. Y'all was edified. If so, make sure y'all share this video. We want videos like this. Spread it. Because this is the real deal. I broke down the real what's going on with the Meg The Stallion. Forget all the back and forth you heard. From right here today, you heard the absolute truth regarding that situation. Hopefully this edified you. More videos coming soon. Thank y'all for watching. Shalom and peace.